Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to make jersey barriers. Now, as this is the first episode in a series for the game Gaslands, if you don't know what Gaslands is, check the description below. This project is going to be in 20mm scale. Now don't worry 40k players, as you will see in the video, I thought about you guys. Now let's go and welcome to the workshop. Now let's start with the tools you will be needing for this project. A hobby knife, a pen, a needle, a wire cutter, a metal ruler, a triangle ruler, an old brush which isn't shown on the picture, PVA glue, Zap-A-Gap or an equivalent, and water. For the materials you will be needing 5mm foam board, cardboard, toilet paper, preferably unused toilet paper, masking tape, guitar string and floral U-pins. This is the drawing I made for 20mm and 28mm scale jersey barriers. If you would like a PDF file of this picture, please send an email to the email address listed below and I will send you one for free, because that's how much I like you guys. Let's start with the preparation for the jersey barriers. I start by measuring and cutting a strip of 1.7 centimeters foam board. Use several cuts so you don't damage the foam. Then divide into strips of 8 centimeters. And this is a drawing with the measurements for the base and the sides of the jersey barriers. I cut a strip of 3.1 centimeters from the cardboard. And then I measure a centimeter from each side. Which we are going to score with a knife, as we are going to bend these up, as they will represent the sides of the jersey barriers. Divide this piece into sections of 8 centimeters. And it's time for the next step. Basic construction of the jersey barriers. I use the masking tape to attach the foam board to the cardboard. You could also use PVA glue, but that takes a while to dry. This works much faster, and because we are going to cover the entire model in PVA glue and toilet paper, it isn't really necessary. I place the foam board in the center of the cardboard and attach the masking tape with my nail to the cardboard, like so. Bend over the foam board, attach the other piece. Now for the sides I use a large strip of masking tape, which I divide into 2. One of the benefits of working with masking tape is that when you mess up, it's really easy to loosen and reattach. Just glue the cardboard to the foam board. Now don't use the expensive Tamiya masking tape. I just use the dollar store variant. Works just as fine as the more expensive ones. Glue the halves to the foam board on both sides, and then it's time for the sides of the jersey barriers. For these I just use a small strip of masking tape. I align it with the bottom and I cut off the excess. Make a little cut at the sides so it doesn't become too thick and it doesn't show up in the finished model. I've also made a couple of broken barriers. This is a post-apocalyptic world after all. It's the same principle as the normal ones, but we're just going to destroy some of the foam board with a hobby knife. Be careful around sharp knives, people. Don't cut yourself. Even though blood may give a lovely realistic effect, do it at the end of the project and not now. After the weathering, we do the same as we did for the normal barriers. Cut the cardboard to the exact size, like so. And then I also made a couple of jersey barriers with a little bit of damage to the top. So I just cut off little strips of the foam board. And then we continue with the texturing. I made a mixture of PVA glue and water, so I get a cream-like consistency. Not too thin, not too thick. We start by painting on the glue to one side of the jersey barrier. And we will get our unused toilet paper out. Glue it to the side. Paint over the paper with the glue mixture. This gives it a paper mache-like quality, which is going to show a little bit of the texture of the paper. Which gives a lovely concrete-like texture. Same process for the sides. Just saturate the paper with the glue mixture, and then it's easy to just rip off the paper, which makes it easier to get rid of little seams that might appear. Now it's time for detailing. I'll use these little floral U-pins. They are a little bit too long, so I cut off a strip. And I just push them in at about 1 centimeter from the side, slightly less. If you have difficulty pushing the pins in because of the PVA glue has already hardened too much, then you can use a needle to make some pilot holes. And then I used a guitar string. You can use small metal wire as well, but the guitar string has a lovely coiled texture. And we push them in to where the rebar would be in the jersey barriers. Once again, if you have difficulty, just drill a pilot hole with a needle, which I didn't do here. You can see me struggle a bit, but hey, I like a challenge. And then I attached the metal with a bit of Zappa gap, so it doesn't come loose after a little bit of gameplay. And this is the final result. If you can see bits of PVA glue like I'm showing here, just cut them off with a hobby knife. And now it's time for painting. And here you can see the painting recipe. Of course, you can use whatever paint you want. I used the gray primer, which I painted on, but you can use spray paint in this case, as everything is covered in PVA glue, so no foam will be melted. Now, instead of brushes, I went with artist sponges. I started with a rough sponge, to get the basic colors down. You can also use a brush, of course, and use a stippling pattern, but I have these lying around, so why not use them? And for the final highlight, I used a sponge with a finer texture. The next step is to paint all the metal parts. With the metal color I used Lead Belcher by Games Workshop in this case. Just paint the rebar and the metal handles at the top. Then I washed the metal parts with a mixture of 50% sepia and 50% flash wash, just around where the metal enters the concrete, and I also painted on some weathering lines. And then I repeated this process, but this time I added some water to the wash mixture to bring down the colors a little bit. I applied this around the side of where I applied the first washes, and then again some stripes to the bottom of where the rust water would flow. The final step in the process is to apply a bit of rust pigments to the metal parts. I already made a mixture of a bit of pigment fixer and the pigments itself, and I just painted on to where I wanted the rust effect. This adds a little bit of a red color to the grays. And that's it for this project, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. These are the finished results. Please like this video, please subscribe, because I'm going to make a whole bunch of Gaslands themed videos in the future. So I don't want you to miss out. Until next time, bye.